Welcome back to Dark Souls, and for this part we have Pedro dragged in, guest starring. Anyway, big changes here because, well, not big very much, but as you can see from my stats, I boosted a lot more of endurance, basically to having, still a fast roll. Basically, Pedro, for now we're going with a rather light build, which uses a Zweihander.
Yeah, I can tell, yeah.
But we started as Pyromancer because for choice of Blibs and Shiri, and I'm planning on keeping that. Basically, the gist of it is that now I've unlocked already the bridge towards the main place of our Nondor, but we need to get inside from one of the sides, the one where there are the two archers throwing umbrella beaches at you. So we need to get there. We also visited briefly the painted wall of Ariamis, but it was just, a quick look. I'll come back to it eventually. Anyway, basically, in case you need to know, the Pedro here is basically the other one that's most experienced with the game, other than me. So...
I've played all of From Software's games ever since Demon's Souls all the way up till the recent one, Sekiro.
What usual for the Souls, for the particular Souls trilogy? Well, the ones that still that you like. What kind of build do you usually go for? Just curious.
Usually, I just go with the typical. Just keep a good balance of pretty much. Oh god, the stream is lagging for me.
No, don't worry. It happens a couple of times. So don't worry about that. But no, what I mean is what kind of weapons you choose, light, heavy. If you do something else.
Light. Usually I go with light since I like being able to.
And I guess also you go if you want to do sometimes magic builds.
Obviously. Oh
fuck! The shit.
Ow.
So Shiroi and Dwibs, what are your thoughts on Dark Souls so far? I'm curious.
Well, it's not necessarily something that's my cup of tea.
But
that's it.
Let's face it, Libs, you find it hilarious me dying over and over.
Well, isn't that more me since I'm the one usually making that decision?
When it's
basically, if you haven't watched the other parts, but oh shit. The gimmick that I wanted to install for this is that at some points where these two don't know what's going on, I will ask them to make a choice with using vectors. So far, I've managed to not be eaten by a mimic, but Shira managed to make me... fuck! Yeah, this part is particularly infamous.
I want to know.
Oh no. This part is particularly infamous because, like I said, there are these two particular Silver Knights who use their gigantic bows in order to throw massive arrows at you, which I forgot, I think, they're called Dragon's Lair arrows, and they look like umbrella beaches.
Anyway,
they have a huge knockback capacity, and the second rail that you're traversing towards them has no protection, meaning that if these two snipe at you, they can knock you over and insta-kill you. So, not exactly a good place to go. But
anyway, I was going to continue my answer to the question. I know how it feels. I remember I'm the guy who, during our Uncharted 2 playthrough, died like twice in the same spots.
And what difficulty were you on?
Explorer.
Okay.
The easiest one that Bluepoint added in the remaster, even.
I know, and you still managed to die, Lives.
Well, I'll put it this way, I'm glad Uncharted doesn't have a live system.
Why it should have?
Well, technically neither does this one. This one is just like you go back to the Nexus, so...
Platformers are kind of known for having a live system. And Uncharted is a platformer.
Sure. What about you, Shiroi? What's your take on the game so far?
It's very pretty, and I like watching people suffer.
Yeah.
But I thought you hated Medieval 6.
It's a couple of things. But again, I was mentioning that to them in the previous part.
Bashir, I thought you hated medieval settings.
This is going so much.
This is more like Gothic medieval dwebs. I think when she talked about
Basically-
medieval stuff, she talked about something like Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Honestly, like I said, I find it kind of ingenious from Miyazaki and his team that they took the basic RPGs and D&D, straightforward fantasy formula, and they put them to their logical extreme in some kind of way. Not necessarily in a realistic, quote-unquote, manner, because there are elements in this game that are way far from being realistic, but still in a... Hold on, because I need to concentrate. But still, in a less, happy-go-lucky anime-style way, like a traditional Tales of game, and in a more Western-like manner, if that makes any sense. Oh, fuck! These fucking arrows! Yeah, then there are these moments with the enemy placement where you need to...
but I don't need to grunt. Oh!
Oh man! But I have good news. The worst for this particular section is over. Now getting actually into the
Theo, don't say that. You'll probably die
don't say
within
that.
like.
I actually know the level design, so don't worry
Are we
about
going
that.
back to the painting now?
Later. But in the meantime, behind this door, there's a bonfire and Solaire.
Oh, great.
Basically, in case you need to know Dweebs and Shiri, you can potentially... Hold on, let me see the dialogue.
Summoning out there. Anytime you see my brilliantly shining signature, do not hesitate to call upon
Oh, don't worry, Solaire, I will always do.
I would relish a chance to assist you.
Solaire is either the ultimate crush or the ultimate bro. You cannot go wrong with him. The game even kind of shades with this dialogue, but he's like, "Oh, if I didn't know any better, I thought you had feelings for me."
Yeah. Senpai.
Notice
But,
me,
but-
senpai.
But believe me, Dweebs and Shiri, the game kinda knows the fact that the player, likes a lot the character of Solaire. So keep that in mind for later. Since we're probably gonna be away for a while at this particular bonfire, let's restore our humanity and kindle a bunch. No, but what I was saying before is I already mentioned the fact that it takes a more Western approach. But mind you, not to really diss off something like Tales of, because those games in themselves have as a concept trying to deconstruct the traditional tropes associated with RPGs with anime style. So there is a whole process behind that. This was just something completely new that no one had thought of that. It's also a sort of throwback to, there you go, the Western RPGs of old, like, say, Baldur's Gate, for example. Miyazaki deliberately chose that because he actually grew up with a lot of Western games and Western media in general, though he always admitted that he never properly learned the English language on its own. It was mostly a rough idea of what it was going on. So that's why also he decided to make some of his choices deliberately cryptic, in order to reflect the sort of thought process he was having while reading some of the stories. Anyway, now we're in the passage that connects towards the main cathedral hall, and there are a couple of doors. Some of them do not open. Don't worry, we'll find a way to open later. Watch out, because some of them have potential traps in the form of silver knights behind them. But if we get instead here, we find that at the fireplace there's a secret passage with a spooky basement. Dweebs and Shiri, do we go down there?
Absolutely.
All right. Like in the previous part, you need to know, Pedro, since there is a dispute here, I have to decide with a coin toss.
The
So
coin
there we go.
usually sides with me.
Like now, for example. So here we go. Congratulations.
I
And
think it sided
90
with Dwibs maybe once throughout all of these streams.
No, a
And,
couple of times already.
and 90% of the time, Shiri's decisions get us killed.
Well, look at these whips. She turned out to be practically right. There's actually nothing down there but a bunch of
If we were trapped in a if we were trapped in a room with a nuclear bomb and our only way out was to cut one of the wires, most likely she would have us cut the wrong one.
Anyway, let's open treasure number 1, and we get part of the Havel set. The guy who we had to kill in the Undead Burger. The guy with the giant, dragon tooth that looked like a dildo. We got his full armor. Here we get his great shield. Here we get his weapon. And for this one, we get a mimic. Thanks, Shiro.
Hey, I didn't know it was there.
Thank you, Shiri.
Well, at least it's not attacking me, so let's actually do attack him. I could try to deal him with a Lloyd's Talisman, but I think it's better if I just go and kill it. There we go. Let's see what it drops. An Occult Club. It's basically a weapon with a dark enchantment on it. Don't bother. That for our build is not useful for now. There we go. But yeah, basically, through the lore, like I mentioned, through the lore of the Havel's Ring, if you don't remember, Havel was one of Gwyn's knights that helped fighting the dragons, and he was using one of their tooth as a weapon, or a teeth, sorry. So why did his armor set was buried deep inside here in Orlando? There's a lot of speculation for that. Here, I'll save you the trouble. This is another mimic, so no surprises for this one.
Well, it's shaking a bit, so yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, Wibs. You can spot potentially mimics by paying attention on two things. The fact that they twitch a bit and the chain near them. If the chain is in a circular shape, it's a normal treasure chest. But if it's elongated, like in this case, it's a mimic.
You should do like...
Go on.
You should do like Pepper on Tail. You need to cut the chest before you even open it.
What?
I remember what Pepper on in Snack World did to the Mimic.
Oh, yeah, kind of merged the thing.
No, I got confused because I thought you were actually referencing the cartoon Pepper Ann, which are probably nothing to do with this.
No, Pepper on.
Yeah,
from
Pepper
Snack,
yeah.
Pepper on, as in from the actual food. So.
Yeah. Anyway, you have a surprise here with a Dark Knight. With a not a Dark Knight, a Silver Knight.
God damn it, that song's in my head now again. Thank you, Pedro.
What song?
Actually, yeah,
the
it's
theme
more
song.
me.
Pepper Ann's theme song.
It's more me for not understanding the reference at first. Come on. Anyway, moving on. Also, interesting portrait here. This lady has interesting qualities.
Yep.
Moving on. Okay. Now in this place, there you go. Where we need to probably go is here, especially because there's the knight attacking first. There we go. But if we go instead down these stairs, what we do find, if I recall correctly, if I do everything right, yes, Sigmire. So what are you doing here? Have you fallen? Oh, you haven't fallen asleep. Okay, what have you got into this time?
Ah, you again. Let me guess. Were you
Yes, I
repelled by the
did.
Silver Knights? Oh, don't be ashamed. 'Tis the fate of vanguards like you and I. I'll think of something.
Yeah, translation, I have to clean this mess for him. Okay, Sigmire, sure, why not? I mean, it's only like 3 enemies!
Well, Tail, at the end of the day, this is still an RPG, so we can't escape these things.
Yeah, but again, let's just say that Miyazaki is going somewhere with this, so... I actually, again, the two things that I like a lot and the most about this game are the level design and the masterful foreshadowing in pretty much everything. The NPC quest, the actual level that you will progress, the direction the story wants to go and all, the secrets that you can find. It's all somehow manages to be connected together in an intelligent way. I don't know how we pulled it, but I actually really like that. It's a shame that 2 completely fucks up for some reason. But again, all in due time.
That's because Miyazaki didn't work on the second game, and it shows.
It's credited as like supervisor, but it's just a title more than anything. We get some Demon Titanite from the chest, so let's report to Sigmire our success.
Sid Meier, but isn't he busy on the Civilization games?
That's a G instead of a D. It's a Sig Meyer.
I wish it's Sid Meier.
It's all connected in one word, not two. But yeah, Sig, let's abbreviate. Sig is actually happy with us and gives us, as a token of gratitude, a tiny being's ring. What does this ring do? It boosts slightly our HP, so honestly, right now it's not really that useful, unfortunately. Yeah. Let's just say that soon enough we will get a much, much better ring. And if we open here, there we go. We connect back to one of the previous settlements, and instead, yeah, another guy with one of the beach umbrellas. There we go. There was nothing here. Anyway, no, yeah, it's best if I go up from whence I came. Yeah, instead now let's go the other way, the one where the knight was. Basically, the best way to avoid the arrows in these open spaces are just to lock on to the enemy and just circling around it. There we go. Our Zweihander is actually a good choice in this case because the attack is almost guaranteed to stagger the enemy unless they have a very high poise, you know. Oh, someone drop an item? Oh, that has to be the mimic from before, right? I forgot to pick. No matter, I'll pick it later. Anyway, if we get here, on this place, we can unlock another shortcut with... Oh, weird, it's not going after me? Oh, there you go. With two more silver knights, and in this case, it's a decorated room with heads of dragons of all kind. Again, this was the capital of Lord Gwyn, and he was the one who was the catalyst against the war with the dragons. So of course he will have his home with full of trophies regarding that. The Silver Knights can be potentially tricky, especially if we wield different weapons than their straightforward sword, but if you know how to maneuver them, you should be fine. The trick is to, start attacking when they start attacking at the same time, sort of, learning their pattern and all, because in that moment they lower their guard from their shield. Anyway, in these two chests we find the Silver Knight set, actually, which I think I have a piece that I may need. Let's see. I will have to power this up a bit, but I will pull it because right now I'm using the black iron one. There we go. And with this we unlock the shortcut on the first level.
Right. So,
go on, Dweebs. I'll tell you something.
So, in another episode of Dweebs Dithering...
Go on, don't worry.
For the majority of us, except Pedro, Disney Plus is actually launching a week earlier than originally announced.
Oh, that's
March
right.
the 24th. It'll cost £5.99 and €6.99 for non-Brits. And I'm looking forward to it. Unfortunately, the Portuguese have to wait till the summer because
whatever. I have other ways of seeing that stuff.
Wink, wink.
Yeah. Anyone looking forward to it?
I may again. It's a very convenient price for a huge catalog, so why not? Anyway, we have reached the main hall, but before going down, as you can see, there's already a summoning sign for Solaire. Let's instead pour down here because we're about to meet another very, very useful NPCs, another blacksmith of sorts. But not just any kind of blacksmith, a giant blacksmith. Oh, that can be comfortable, dude. Work on your posture. You can build a better chair for you. Jeez. All right, let's talk to him. Oh.
You forge your weapons?
Sure. Alright, here I can evolve my Zweihander to the next logical step that I want, a lightning Zweihander. It lowers a bit the stats, but it does some lightning damage, which is effective against certain type of enemies. But let's see if I have enough souls and a Titanite chunk. Sure. Alright, let's go for it. And let's see if I can also reinforce it more. Yes, I can. Right. There we go. Much better. Let's also repair this. We can also purchase from him some more Titanite types that you need. The Twinkling Titanite is the one that is most recommended because it boosts instead the special type of weapons and armors, like boss type weapons or particular, armor sets for your cosplay purposes, and everything from the giant set. We will need this later, just saying. But before going, let's talk to him a bit more. Because I actually like the way this guy kind of, bonds with you. Oh, there you go, he says it right now. See, basically, we are the first visitor in a long time, and he's actually happy that he's actually working for us. So, pay also that in mind for future games, just saying. Anyway, a couple of more demons, because here we can actually unlock another shortcut. There you go. Oof. Yeah, one thing that I noticed in this remaster is that they changed the lighting in some places a lot. I remember when I played the first, the original PS3 version, the lighting was in some particular places made objects more shiny, for lack of a better term, and in a sense a couple of times more colorful. But here instead there seems to be a bit more, oh Jesus, they seem to be less, colorful. I guess that was the original intent of the game, and the original PS3 version, just did screw up for that. I don't know.
The PS3 version. The remaster in particular is very much a very straightforward remaster. It ups the frame rate and improves the graphics, but that's all it really does, really.
Yeah. But honestly, the optimal meal will still be technically playing the original PC version with the DSFix mod, the one I think was made by Durante, which basically fixes the entire game for you. Because that guy is just that good somehow. Anyway, we open this, we unlock a huge shortcut from the first bonfire where we started. But we're not done yet unlocking things, because now we can go back to the main hall. After so many stairs. Jesus. That's also another thing. The massive amounts of stairs and things with distance that you need to go through between each place. It's a clever way for the game to hide its loading times, because there are virtually no real loading times in this game. Maybe it may pop up once or twice, but that even is like a mistake of sorts. So that's actually kind of nice the way it's implemented.
Oh, sorry, you're still...
Go on. I need to dispatch this guy.
All right. One little feature that Disney Plus has is its own little... It's like a suggestion box of sorts where you can...
What do you want to see next?
Yeah. So, Pedro, if when I get it, I can ask for Dave the Barbarian for you, along with asking for Weekenders.
Anyway,
awesome.
we can potentially summon Solaire here, but we got an interesting message. The black orb that we have here, the dark eye, is quivering. We will see more in a second, but first thing first, let's pull this particular level. I'm trying to save the world, and I'm here pulling contraptions of all kind to unlock the main entrance of the hall. So if we actually restart from the bonfire, potentially there, we can, go straight forward to here without having to do more convoluted mess. Anyway, in case you don't remember, Dweebs and Shiri, the Black Eye Orb is the object that we found on the corpse of the Firekeeper, and apparently we can use it to track down the murderer. Should we do it now?
No.
Shiri?
Yes.
Okay,
I mean,
then.
it's been quiet for a little while, you know. We can.
It's reacting in this it seems to be reacting in this particular place. I need to understand also this, both of you, because we haven't showcased how invasion properly works from our perspective. When you invade, you essentially have a sort of an invisible time limit to complete your task and kill the host. But if you don't lose your soul or humanity. You just get booted back to where you were. In our cases, I think you will still be at the bonfire, but basically we will not lose anything. It's essentially a test for us to go through. Anyway, coin toss. No, we're not doing it for now. Sorry. Well, it's kind of a shame because it's a nicer word, but decision be decision. We'll try to do that if I manage to defeat the boss in this part, because we're actually about to find possibly one of the most iconic of the bosses of this game. Anyway, that's Summon Solaire. There we go. Because these two particular giant knights are kind of a pain in the ass, and Solaire is the perfect distraction for them. Whoop! The problem with this particular giant knight is that compared to the previous one, we have more health, a bit more defense, and they can cast a couple of miracles like healing themselves or having a sort of a shockwave attack. The trick is to have, in this case, Solaire distract them so you can, there you go, ambush them instead from behind, like this. Because the problem with these giants is that if you hit them while they have their shield up, you will do literally no damage. It's not like a case where you chip away only a bit of it. No, you literally do 0 damage at all. There we go. And there we go. Perfect. And Solaire didn't even lost that much of health. Good. Alright, time to actually face the boss. I tested it on another run. It should be perfectly doable because all the people are like, oh no, you should summon, the people online. But I think Solaire should be, and our build should be fine enough. But let's wait until he gets here, and let's move on. By the way, this particular place is actually, again, it's really beautiful up here under the architecture. But anyway, here are the dynamic duo, essentially, Executioner's Bow, the fat one, and Ornstein, the Dragon Slayer, the guy with the spear. They are called by many nicknames by the community like Snorlax and Pikachu, Fatboy Slim, Biggie Small, and my favorite of all, Dunksteined and Slamol, because Space Jam memes. Anyway, who should we kill first, Lives and Shiroi?
The big one.
Alright, let's go for the fatty
I would agree.
No, do a coin toss right in the middle of the fight.
No,
The great
no,
thing is
don't
that
do
thanks to... Hold on. The Zweihander in our possession means that the smoke, if he gets hit, tends to get staggered a lot. Meaning that... Oh shit, no, don't gang up on Solaire, that's rude.
And pausing won't save you.
Nope. This is like Dead Space, you need to go all the way. There we go. See, that wasn't so hard, wasn't it? Oh, wait. I just say also that this boss has a mechanic that catches you off guard. The person who gets killed power-ups the remaining one. In the case, we just made our fight 10 times harder because Ornstein powered up is an absolute beast. It has better rewards, mind you, it's just gonna be a bit tough. Thankfully, Solaire's to do the job as a bait, so let's hope. Also, props to the Motoi Sakurata for having one of the best themes he has composed for the battle or this one.
Yeah.
Again, much like with the rest of the level of the game, even the composing Motoi Sakurata decided to do a sort of different spin on things. He still mostly is kind of shtick, you can definitely recognize his style, but at the same time, fuck, I died. But at the same time, you can hear how much different it is.
I'll have to listen to it on its own at some point because I can't
Oh,
actually
don't worry,
hear
Shiro.
it.
I'll leave you links. Particularly, also, you should listen to the remix with Quad City because once again, Space Jam memes.
Yeah, I can't hear it when
Wow,
I'm recording.
memes for something that other than the baseball joke would even all that funny in the first place.
Lips, it's kind of weird the fact that they made so many remixes with the Quad City song. I don't understand why. Anyway, while I'm at the bonfire, just to know what's the timer? How many times has passing we started? Shirai?
I'm
Um,
sorry, I'm
I'm-
getting
I'm s-
there. Half an hour.
Sorry.
Yeah, half an hour
Alright, well,
too.
yeah. Let's go full way. I mean, let's try it a couple of more times to beat them as well. I think I should go here. No, definitely not here. I should go. My Commander Shepard. There we go. Again, the key to that boss fight is to use Solaire as a distraction, as another damage dealer, because otherwise the two bosses will gank up on you. It's a boss specifically designed to be a co-op boss, so if you're on your own, you're kind of stuck. Again, that's also the reason why the game provides you with the NPC phantoms, in order to provide you actual assistance where you actually need. They're not everywhere, they're just in some convenient places where their help, is actually a relief towards you more than the game going on easy mode. Once again, the sequel doesn't know how to do that, but all in due time.
Yep.
I was looking up From Software's earlier games, and
Like Kingsfield, for example.
from the way the Wikipedia page for the first game looked like it was Japan only, but no, it got a PAL release.
It's a bit, it's only Europe, I think, Libs.
Yeah, pal.
Looks like it, yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, if it's PAL, then yeah.
No, yeah, it said PAL only. I didn't know if it was, if it meant just Europe or...
Although it's 45 quid.
Yeah, it's expensive, Libs. But, and I don't even know if it's a genre. The Kingsfield genre is a first-person dungeon crawler-like game, so not sure if you go for it. I'm more surprised the fact that From Software, even back in the day, not just now, managed to become very versatile in the publishers they worked with. Like, they worked with Sega for a particular duology on the Xbox, I forgot what it's called. They worked with Microsoft for a game like, I think it's called Ninja Blade. And more recently, they had Activision publish the Western release of Sekiro, for example, of all people. There we go. And there we go. Again, another props with Solaire. Defeating these giant guards is much easier. So let's go for round number 2. Come on, Solaire. Don't be left behind. Whoa! Fuck me. And apparently someone else liked the fact that I'm getting pummeled by these two.
Enemies really like standing directly on the other side of these gates.
Oh, definitely. Well,
Yep.
but it happens mostly here and the Capra Demon. A couple of them are much more, merciful in that regard, for all it's worth. Mind you, Shiro, we haven't seen the last of the bullshit bosses. The worst, technically speaking, is yet to come. It's gonna be inevitable. It's not even one of the optional one. It's one of the mandatories. But you'll see. Again, let me say, it's a boss that was considered so hard by beta testers and all that Miyazaki actually apologized for it. That's how insane this thing is. Miyazaki didn't apologize for anything else in this game, but for that thing alone, yes.
That said something considering what this game is designed to be in the first place.
Yeah. Whoop. Come on.
What if you managed to kill them both before?
I haven't tried. I know that it's possible, but I haven't tried. I didn't manage to pull it off, unfortunately.
Okay.
I probably should look up some videos on it.
It requires a very specific strategy.
And luck, because you need to catch these two in the same, at the same position, and dealing a strike that deals damage to both at the same time, and has to be enough damage. Anyway, Ornstein gains, there you go, the stomping attack from Small, and some more electrical powers like these grab. Oh, okay, no, it didn't do on me. But basically, when it does the lightning spear move, it can potentially connect it with a grab where it technically skewers you, or probably so there in the other case, and then slams you onto the ground. It's kind of tough. And I'm almost actually running out of vanities. Damn.
Dark Souls become human.
Oh god. Remember, Grebs, David Cage would hate this game because it's violent.
It's Japanese.
Not even just that, too. This game is violent, and according to David Cage, video games should not promote violence and shit. They should be about emotions and humans and
Never mind
whatever.
the fact that his own games have been rather violent on a consistent level.
Well, yeah, that's the common joke.
Hypocrisy.
That's the common hypocrisy that everybody talks about. Even the fans flat out say, yeah, there's even David Cage's own fans are like, yeah, I like David Cage, but even I will admit that it's just he should just stop saying those things.
Would he even know about this game though, considering it is a Japanese game?
David Cage, that's the thing, Shiro. After the tragedy that was Beyond Two Souls, he actually, to his credit, I guess, did take the lesson. He stopped talking in a lot of ways. He still occasionally shows up to do a little panel thingy here and there, but
Detroit.
But it's very rare compared to how it was before Beyond came out. Like back in the Heavy Rain days, he used to show up all the time in various panels and do all kinds of shit. But
I don't wonder if Sony PR department at those time has something to do about it. Like after Beyond, the people told him just stop showing up because you're giving us a bad rap.
Not just that, too. There's also
and also he's critical about Japan. Yet he was working with a Japanese publisher all those years.
No, it's not so much that. Here's the thing, like. It's not so much that he's critical. He's not critical of Japan. It's more so.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The Japanese games and that.
See, here's the thing, Drebs. What the problem is that it's not so much that he's critical of Japanese games. He's more like he's ignorant of them. Like he's not. He doesn't talk. He doesn't seem to recognize. Like to him, video games were never emotional before Indigo Prophecy came along.
Ignoring Metal Gear Solid. What else?
Eco, Shadow of the Colossus,
Final Fantasy.
And that's multiple games in that franchise.
I don't even have to. I can even go back further. The later Ultima games, the King's Quest games, specifically 6.
AKA the one that had competent voice acting. Of the classic games, I mean.
Well, let's look at it this way. 7 was worse in that regard, but definitely it was still better than 5's voice acting.
Yeah.
And 8.
Well, 8 is
8.
8 is the game that nobody talks about for good reason.
I will say, because I jumped on the David Cage train after that point, and it's honestly kind of a downer that I don't get to experience one of his conference.
Sure. That's what old YouTube videos are for. They're still there for you to watch.
See it in the moment. I want at least one.
That's the thing, Shiro. I think even he realizes that nobody takes him seriously anymore. So he just
someone
stops.
fell asleep one time.
I'm actually really curious.
Yoshida, yeah.
I'm still really curious on what the future will hold for him in general. Whatever.
Oh no! I'm still gonna pay attention. It's just that I'm never buying a game from them ever again.
Doesn't really help that he's forming a new relationship with the Epic Games Store.
Not to mention too. Even if for some, not to mention too. Even if my PC can't handle the game itself, it's okay because all I really have to do is watch it on YouTube anyway. Because once you've played a David Cage game, you've played them all. So
You'll start putting them all on Netflix like that Bandersnatch thing for Black Mirror. Because
Well,
that's what
Sheila,
we're gonna get to.
Sheila, he did show the Beyond Two Souls homeless chapter at the Tribeca Film Festival. So yeah.
How did that even like get approved? It's a video game.
Because
I
it's
think.
because Sheila, it's because of Heavy Rain, Sheila. Heavy Rain at the time of its original release got a lot of filmmakers like Terry Gilliam to side with it. Oh, this is like the next step in terms of entertainment and shit. Like, it's interactive. Oh my god!
Again,
The choices you make change the story.
Again, a bunch of people who didn't know about the media making their speculations about it. It's similar to how a couple of directors like Spielberg were afraid of Netflix and saying that it would pull people outside of movie theaters.
That's just Spielberg in general too. See, the problem people like.
I was only comparing it in terms of phenomenon. In this case, in David Cage's case, instead they were like, "Oh, it's the next big thing because of the old choices and emotion thing."
It's more so the fact too that Spielberg's problem is that he's your typical old, out of touch old man that doesn't really understand that. See, again, it's kind of similar thing to, for example, he hasn't made a single movie that's actually worth giving a shit about since Warhorse. Yes, I said it, everybody. Well, okay. Although to be fair, I haven't seen Bridge of Spies yet, so maybe that movie is worth a crap. It just didn't really interest me. Dweb says it's good, so I'll take his word for it.
What does he talk about? The
Bridge of Spies.
Is it about the East and West Berlin problems during the Cold War?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
I guess. It just isn't interesting to me, especially considering how Lincoln was just generic Oscar bait 101.
Says a lot when Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is a better movie, usually.
Honestly,
Well, I haven't seen that movie, but judging from the director's work that I saw of Ben Hur,
it's still not a great movie, Libs. Even as a parody of sorts.
well, I saw Ben Hur, and that alone was like
the
me
Ben
towards
Hur
that
reboot,
director.
that was a thing. Or remake in this case.
Yeah, that was a day I remember quite well. It was the first time a film actively made me dizzy after watching it.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of funny, Lives. For me, it was Maleficent instead.
Luckily,
first time I actually watched it on my own, I actually felt sick after I finished it.
Luckily though, not too long. The exact same day I saw Kubo and the Two Strings after.
So you managed to recover.
But for me, I didn't have one that made me dizzy. For me, it was when I watched Zack Snyder's Sucker Punch on theaters because.
God.
Well, here's the thing. Too. You have to understand that back in 2012, Zack Snyder's reputation.
2011.
Was it?
Yeah, Sucker Punch. I thought it was 2011.
Oh yeah, 2011. Well, whatever. I was off by 1 year. The point is, back in 2011, too, his reputation still was actually pretty good for the most part.
Because of Watchmen, yeah.
Not just Watchmen.
300.
Legend of the 300 was really good as a technical showcase, but as an actual movie, whatever. And Legend of the Guardians was also very well regarded. Back when.
Anyway, he was involved in that?
No. You're thinking of Rise of. Wait. You're thinking of DreamWorks' Rise of the Guardians.
Yeah.
I'm talking about. No, that's a different. No, I'm talking about a different movie. This is a movie that he made about owls called Legend of the Guardians.
Yeah, I know that one too. I just haven't watched it personally, but I remember the marketing and all.
It's very bland story-wise.
I think it's called Valiant here.
But in true Zack Snyder fashion, it's a visual spectacle. So there's that.
What are you doing?
Even though it's an animated family film too, it's still clearly that it's directed by Zack Snyder because it has the slow-mo shots. It has.
I remember watching from the trailer that it has definitely the Zack Snyder usual lighting in a sense that everything looks grey and dreary.
Mm-hmm. Although to be fair, it works fine for that particular movie considering the atmosphere that it's going for.
Yeah, if I correctly, it tries to recreate a scenario similar to World War One, airplane fighting, but with owls instead.
His next film is is a film called Army of the Dead with Dave Bautista as the lead.
What?
Cool. Dave Bautista, the guy who plays Drax.
Army of the Dead. Is he trying to remake the third Evil Dead one?
According to this, it was initially announced planned to be a sequel to Dawn of the Dead,
Oh. Anyway,
which
let's see what
Snyder
happens,
also directed.
Anyway, let's see what happens when we kill Ornstein instead first, just to spice things up, might as well. It's not really important for our run who we kill first, because further rewards are on mostly for completionism's sake, and there you go. I already got both rewards in my other main playthrough, which seems I'm on New Game Plus anyway. Smog is thankfully more easy in that kind of sense. It's Ornstein real challenge. It's easy. Smog is easy to avoid. It's particularly weak to lightning. I don't know why. And he only has a couple of nasty attacks you need to watch out, like the butt stomp. The more hilarious thing is that if you pay attention to the cutscene, Ornstein was still alive when he fell down, and Smog just crashed him like this. What a nice guy. And we are done. There we go. Oof. We got its soul, and that's it. If we killed Ornstein, we would have got his soul instead. Oh yes, we got also a sunlight medal because Solar is just that wholesome. If we killed Ornstein, we would have got instead his soul and the Leo ring, one of the other 4 rings titled Gwyn's personal general. Ornstein is the only one that you find in the main game. The other 3 shows up in the Artorias of DLC. Anyway, we are having a bonfire here, but we're not. I don't want to stop just yet, because there is something that all of you need to be seen. I'm actually glad that Perry is here because he knows what's coming up. Unfortunately, they can't show up here, but let's just say that before opening this door, usually if you have activated online, there are a lot of messages that mention something like amazing chest ahead. So, actually, let me equip properly. Yes, I have the binocular. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and wids, I give to you Guinevere, Princess of Sa. Oh, hello. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. I'm coming here, please. Protocol and all.
I am Guinevere, daughter of Lord Gwyn and Queen
Okay.
of Sunlight. Since the day Father is formed in obscureth, I have awaited thee.
And she gives what we needed, the Lord Vessel. And here's the best news of all. With the Lord Vessel, we can actually teleport between bonfires. Not all of them, mind you, but at least key ones. So backtracking has becomes 100% more manageable now. So that's the best thing in the world. You can potentially also join a covenant by speaking to her, but not really caring. I honestly think it's one of the weaker covenants anyway in the game. Speaking instead of a design, a funny story here. Originally, Miyazaki has envisioned the character with a much more subdued cleavage, but the artist who actually drew her got a little too happy-go-lucky with his pencil, and was so adamant on keeping the design that Miyazaki just had to give up at some point. All the sacrifices.
I'm keeping this design. It's my vision.
Anyway, let's boost up. There we go. There you go. Let's see.
But also, Chiro, I can tell you that the best time to be the Cage fan, for me at least, was 2005 when he released Indigo Prophecy. Because that game is still like the chronicle of the culmination of stupidity.
I still go back to watch the Hellfire Comms live stream of that because that is gold.
Anyway, let me pop a bit more just to level up. Oh,
It is his funniest game, though.
Oh no,
Alright.
Indigo Prophecy is a brilliant comedy. Go ahead.
If you want 5 more minutes, we can potentially try to activate the Black Eye orb and see if we can defeat the person responsible for the Board of the Packkeeper, or if you wish, we can just cut off here because it's also a nice point.
Yeah, I suggest we cut off here. You know, that could be a great build-up
Sherry?
for the next part.
What do you prefer? Just cutting off here, or trying to chase the person with the dark eye? At least giving one attempt.
Just gonna
Oh.
check the
It's we're at 49 minutes.
49 minutes. So
All right, I'll give it just one try. If I fail, I'll just
we're still within our
exit
usual
quietly.
time for these anyway. So
Yeah. I try to keep these
Oh,
under an
I thought you
hour.
were going to jump down that shaft.
No, you can, but you will die. So why doing that?
You know, funny story. I watched a Doctor Who episode recently that involved a guy being shoved down an empty elevator shaft.
Is it
A classic
the new
one.
series? Oh,
No,
a
classic.
one, okay.
We should get to those at one point when we have the means.
Yeah, that too. But in general, so where are they stored nowadays? Like, what are they on a particular streaming service?
There's a service around here in Britain and the
Oh, you
States
mentioned
called
it already,
BritBox.
true.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's hope he just.
I mean, there are
gets away.
DVDs as well.
No, hope he doesn't get away. Oh, fuck. Fuck. There we go. I just
Yes.
want to be quiet for a second. Fucking hell. Go
This
back
is
to your
your
postcard.
This is your decision, dear.
Yes, I know. Anyway, let me see it. There we go. It's time to find out who is the mystery assassin behind it. Behind the murder. You probably don't even remember him, but we did. It's a person that we did meet in the past. It's Lautrec.
Dr. Lautrec?
No,
Shit.
it's Knight
Not
Lautrec
that,
specifically.
not that Lautrec. This
Okay,
Lautrec.
the thought process is kind of similar, having a crazy person behind it because Toulouse-Lautrec was a crazy artist and all. But let's just say that, anyway, since Lautrec is not a stupid person, he comes here with flunkies, so let me go up here to face them more quietly, let's just say. But yeah, Lautrec is the murder here. There is a sort of a lore reason behind this. It sort of wants to collect humanities from the Fire Guardian for his own personal purposes. The specific purpose may vary, depends on how you view things out. There you go. Now it's just you and me, Twitch. But it might be not just for personal being. There may be a good reason for it, and we killed him. Good. That's actually a good point, considering. And we got a souvenir reprisal. It's usually the item that you get from defeating an enemy that you invaded that was guilty. It's sort of tied to one specific covenant. I'll explain more in another part, just to showcase it. But this is good because we get the Firekeeper Soul, a set of 5 humanities we need, and possibly the best ring in the game, the Ring of Favor and Protection. What does this little baby do? It boosts... There you go. A ring symbolizing the favor and the protection of the goddess Fina, known in legend to possess faithful beauty. This ring boosts its wearer HP, stamina, and max equipment load. The trade-off is, if we remove it, it will shatter. So once we get it, when we don it, we cannot, have it removed anymore. But don't you worry. This is definitely one thing that needs to be stay permanently in our inventory. So basically, we have become more powerful like this, and I think, this is the good point to cut things off. I will go back to the bonfire on my own later. So tune in next time, where we maybe do some backtracking, but I will present to Dibs and Shiri one critical decision for the ending of the game. See you next time.
See ya.
yeah.